Good morning, sunshines. Hello, hello. It's Callie Carroll. We're baking today. We're in the kitchen baking. We're not in the kitchen baking, you guys. We're in the same room that we're always in. We're not baking. I'm absolutely not baking right now, but we are starting from scratch, and we're going to talk about that. So as you jump on, say good morning, sunshine, or hashtag GMS in the comments. The three butterflies, that maybe it's just the three butterflies, you guys, standing for our transformation and what has to occur for us to become that beautiful butterfly. So maybe just that. Maybe we just start doing that too. So there you guys go. All right. Anything that you're grateful for this morning, please put in the comments as well. Practicing our daily gratitude, resulting in a happier life, happier personality, more joy. And then let's talk about starting from scratch. So my mom, when I don't know how old she was, you guys, I think maybe early 60s. She was like, you know what? I think maybe I want to be a nurse. She had never been in the field before. She had never been in any sort of medical anything. I don't really know where this came from, but she was like, this is the point of the whole video. It's okay to start from scratch, right? It's okay to start from scratch, 60 years old, and you decide you want to change your entire career. And I think that's a great, just like quick point about our lives and the fact that we can and we get to start from scratch and write a new chapter of our lives at any point that we decide to do it. And sometimes it's based upon our own decision, and sometimes it's pushed and forced by life and circumstances that occur, right? Which is where I find myself right now. So good morning, Sunshine Eric. Good morning, Haley. How are you guys? Just recently, I was talking to you guys about how, like, we've gone through this major thing over the last 16 months with my son and his cancer and his disease and all the chemo and out of doctors. And my life was taken a very specific direction with or without my desire. That's where I was going. There was no choice. And then as we came to the end, as we have just finished chemotherapy, as my baby boy turns 3 years old tomorrow, right? He started this adventure when he was 1.5. I find myself starting to get to be like, okay, like what's next for me? How do I want to start from scratch? And we talked about celebrating last week. So I've been spending the last week just being in it, just being in life, just doing things. We've been leaving the house every day. We've been going on so many adventures. But now as a little time's passing, I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, like I'm ready to start thinking about what's next. What's next for me, since I don't have to go to the hospital? Thank you so much, Shania. Since we're not going to be in and out of the hospital all of the time, since that's not going to be all consuming, conversations with doctors and talking to insurance and all of these different pieces. And right away, my brain, you guys, and tell me if you do this too, my brain went back to what I used to know. I was like, okay, so I should probably wake up at 6 a.m., get my workout done, my miracle morning. And then what I'll do, I was trying to piece together things as they used to be. And very quickly, I realized, good morning, Sunshine Christine, I realized that starting something over doesn't mean starting it like you used to, right? Starting something new means that you get to reinvent the way that things look for all of us, right? So for me, I'm like, you know what, maybe this doesn't make sense. Now my babies want snuggle time in the morning. We still have the boys in weird sleeping conditions because we're going to try to get out of that because we've created a lot of interesting habits over the last 1.5 years. So the mornings for me might be more about getting up and taking care of my editing and my writing, because that's the hardest thing as opposed to working out and like reinventing, like looking at like, well, maybe I'm going to work out in the afternoons, or maybe John can give me time at this point of the day to spend and devote some things on what I want to do, even if it's just an hour a day. And when is our time together to go adventuring as family? So I'm finding that starting from scratch, I mean, it can be a little overwhelming because that blank canvas is like, oh, like you can do anything with it, right? But it's pretty amazing when you realize that you don't have to go back to what you once knew. So this is me, Danielle. Good morning, sunshine. So this is me and where I'm at right now, right? I am at this point where I get to start from scratch and I get to reinvent who I am, what I do, what my purpose is, what my passion is, how I spend my time and presence, and apply all of the things that I got to learn over the last 1.5 years in this cancer phase of life with my baby boy and my whole family trying to go through that, right? And I want to express to you guys today that you have the same ability. without the childhood cancer, right? You have the same ability to start from scratch in your world. If you step back with perspective and you look at like, what are some areas that maybe you're pushing, but they just kind of don't make sense, right? They're just not making sense. Like my mom and her career, maybe is there something that you've always wanted to try? Have you wanted to be a nurse, but instead you're an accountant? I know it sounds wacky to change, but it's a possibility. Starting from scratch is a possibility. It's something that you get to explore. Maybe you step back and you look at your friendship circle, right? And you're surrounded by a tribe that's, you're trying to move a certain direction in life. You're on here watching Good Morning Sunshines. You're wanting to like open your heart to maybe some new experiences in life and love and giving. And you want to pull yourself out of that negativity a little bit, but you're kind of stuck with these people that are in it. Maybe this is the time for you to think like, I could start from scratch. What would that look like? What would my tribe look like if I could reinvent that? What type of people would I hang out with? What would their attitude be like? What would their ambition for life look like? What would their presence look like? What would the way they speak and the words they use look like? Do I like those humans that I'm with so much? I know I talk about a tribe a lot when I'm talking about transition and growth, you guys, but who you hang out with creates who you are. We know this, right? The people you choose to spend your time with is a big impact on how you take a stand in the world. So sometimes looking at those relationships can be a great thing. So career, your relationships, whether that's with, your partner or your friends, it could be with your health, right? You're like, I know this is what I've been doing, but maybe this would make more sense for me right now. Maybe it is a good time to start from scratch. And realizing that in any of these things that you guys choose for yourself, Chelsea, Good Morning Sunshine, for yourself, right? And that wasn't just to you. I just saw your name and you're yes. So I was yesing back to you. So for you guys and where you're at in your world, think about it. Like, okay, so there's an area not loving it. I don't have to do it how I once did it. For me, I don't have to wake up at 5:45 a.m. and get my workout done and do my miracle morning routine and then have this many hours to work and have this regimented schedule to try to get done when I want to get done, because that doesn't make sense for me now. Maybe now I work out at night and I write my book in the morning, and during the day I play with the boys, and maybe my whole passion and purpose becomes something completely different than what it once used to be. And I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Oh, that makes me so happy, because I have to take some time with me and think about it. I have to take some time to reflect, because starting from scratch also, you guys, isn't like as simple as I say, okay, you know what? Like if you haven't taken the time to really think about what do you want your tribe to look like? What do you want your marriage to look like? What do you want your relationship with your kids to look like? What do you want your career to look like? What do you want your presence in life to look like? What do you want your home to look like? Your schedule. If you haven't taken that time, it's hard to start from scratch. So today might just be an invitation for you to say like, where do I even want to, what one thing do I want to work on first? I'm going to work on one thing first. I'm going to figure out what time of the day I'm going to work on editing and finishing my book before December so it can be out for January. That's my first thing that I'm going to work on. What's the first thing that you want to work on? And then don't feel like you have to do it how you once did it. Don't feel like you have to do it how he did it or she did or I did it or they did it. Think about what feels good for you and how you want to do it. Because starting from scratch is a pretty cool thing. Oh, good morning, sunshines. Let's just keep in mind, perspective reveals miracles. This is what this is all about. Thinking a different way, pulling back, getting a different view, moving forward, getting a different view in our lives can really transition how we feel and how we show up to things. So I'm excited for what's next. And I don't even freaking know what's next, but I know that I'll be on here with you guys. And I don't know what time, because I don't think 8 a.m. is what fits in my new norm. So just push the button so you know when I go live, because otherwise I'm not really sure. And I believe I will create some sort of consistency there, but it might take me a couple weeks to figure it out. So just bear with me. I will still be here when I'm here. And I love you guys. Again, we're going to go celebrate Woody J's birthday tomorrow, but I'm still going to go live. He's going to go live, I think. I think tomorrow's when John said to go live. What do you guys think? Yeah, it is. 3 years old, little warrior. Okay, I love you guys. Perspective reveals miracles. I hope you have a beautiful day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.